You're listening to the Hello Well with Danielle show, a podcast taking women of color on a journey exploring all things wellness and travel related. We're all about showing you how to put on your oxygen mask first and creating lasting self-care habits that will free you to travel the world and live the life you truly desire, and not one you have to fake loving. I'm your host, Danielle Washington. Now let's buckle up and start this journey. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Hello Well with Danielle podcast. I'm your host, Danielle Washington, and as a certified Reiki master, as well as a Reiki teacher, meaning I teach other people how to become Reiki practitioners, I teach them how to do Reiki on themselves and others. The number one question I get from most people is, I'm not buying this. How does Reiki work remotely? And I get it. I totally get it. Like before becoming a Reiki practitioner, honestly, I wasn't someone who was like going to believe you. If you said to me years ago, I'm going to send you this Reiki healing energy and you're going to feel maybe tingling sensation in your body. Your body may even move. You may feel heat where I'm working on. You may feel relaxed and all these different things. I would have called BS. Card carrying, no, I'm blaming you. And if you're trying to sell me the London Bridge, I'm not buying that either. It just didn't work for me. Like mentally, I don't know if it's because I'm a Virgo and I think very logically or analytically. I just didn't get it. I didn't understand how can someone be in one state or one country send healing to someone far, far away to where they could physically feel the healing that someone was sending. It just didn't make sense to me until I became a practitioner. So when someone says it, know that I was the skeptic of the year until I started seeing it for myself, since I started having people do Reiki on me from a distance and me experiencing my own healing. But also I hear it from my clients all the time that, and they're definitely, skeptical at times. Like they're like, my friend said it really worked. I'm not really sure. I said I'd give it a try. And then when they try it, they're like, oh, wow, that's the most relaxed I've ever felt in a really long time or ever in their lives. Or, I was finally able to feel something or get clarity on something. I had a pain in my back and now it's not longer there, or I had a migraine and it's no longer there. Reiki works from a distance. So I wanted to explain exactly what is distant Reiki, how it works, what happens in a session, and why it's my preferred form of Reiki. But kind of, I guess, before we kind of get into that, I feel like the cart before the horse is going on right now. So it's like, let me explain what exactly is Reiki. So what is Reiki? Reiki is a Japanese form of stress reduction and that promotes relaxation and healing. It can be used to help you sleep. It can help you provide clarity for your life. It can, if your energy is low, it can help you with that. If you think about it, Reiki most likely will help with it. And so it just does so many different things. You can send Reiki to a pet. You can send Reiki to a plant. You can send Reiki to a relationship, a situation in the future. I love just, helping send Reiki, especially to my clients and friends and family who are just maybe going through sometimes like life, life is adulting ain't easy. Keeping it real, adulting isn't easy always. And the way I like to look at Reiki is think about it as if our body is this a beautiful, amazing river. And I say it's beautiful because our bodies are beautiful. I want to make sure I always say that our bodies are beautiful with any shape that you are. But say our body is this beautiful river and someone has placed, or there's this big boulder over our throat. And it's blocking our ability to set boundaries. It's blocking our ability to make ourselves a priority, to speak our truth and all these different things. So we have this big boulder that's blocking our throat. And what Reiki does is it comes in and it removes the blockages of these energies and it allows us to speak freely. If there was a block in our throat, it allows us to say no when we really want to say no and not say yes when we really want to say no. And so it's one of those things where it removes blocks in our body. And who doesn't need help removing blocks from our body? That doesn't take you taking pills, adding hormones, or doing all these different, things that we do to get better. And all you have to do as a person who is receiving Reiki is chill. Like, who doesn't want to chill and receive a healing? It's like exercising without having, it's like getting the benefits of exercising without having to exercise. And that's one of the reasons I love, 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 love Reiki, that you don't have to be in person. You have to be in front of someone, especially in the midst of the pandemic. It made it so much easier for a lot of people who were going through so many different things to get a form of healing from their home. So now that you know exactly what Reiki is, let's talk about how it works remotely. So Reiki, again, I talked about it a little bit. It uses life force energy. So whether you call it chi, you call it ki, prana, whatever you want to call it, life force energy. I mentioned before, we're all made up of energy. We have all these energies in our body. And I talked about, Reiki removing the blocks of energy within our body. And so what Reiki does, especially for people who are Reiki 2, level 2 and above practitioners, they're trained and attuned to be able to utilize these distant Reiki symbols. So there's these symbols that we utilize to help us raise our vibrations. That way we're able to send Reiki healing to like specific locations for healing. And so I get it in the sense that it's sometimes easier to wrap our brains around the ideal of sending love and sending prayers because we are all able to send energy. We send energy all the time. We send energy through our thoughts, through our using our intentions and through visualizations. And if you think about it, we can feel when someone says, I'm sending you through their intentions and their visualization. We can feel when someone says, I'm sending you prayers. We can feel when someone says, I'm sending you love. And so there's not much difference between the ideal of the concept of sending prayer and love through your intentions and doing the same thing through Reiki. The only difference is utilizing Reiki and utilizing people who are attuned to the distant Reiki symbols. We're working at a higher frequency. So it's like prayers that have been boosted, 10 times to work on a specific area of your body or a specific area of healing. And who doesn't want that? Who doesn't need that? I love that. And the way I like to look at distant Reiki in general is it creates an energetic link. So through utilizing these distant symbols in Reiki, we create an energetic link with the person that we're trying to work with. So whether it's using your attention. So if I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I'm going to send Reiki to Meghan Markle because I feel like she needs some Reiki. I think she needs some Reiki in her life. But if I want to send attention, I wanted to set my attention and send Reiki to Meghan Markle, I can do that. I can look at a picture of Meghan Markle and I can, visualize in my head, I'm sending Reiki to Meghan because I'm focusing in on her picture. I can write her name on a piece of paper and hold the piece of paper in my hand and send Reiki to that paper. Or I can use a surrogate object. So sometimes people call it the teddy bear method. So where you have a stuffed animal and you visualize that stuffed animal actually being the person. So in this example, the stuffed animal would be Meghan Markle, and I use the stuffed animal to send Reiki. So there's many different ways to energetically link, or just again, just thinking about someone, and it's a great way to send Reiki to a person from a distance. And I use it often. I use it daily. And I like using distant Reiki more so than in-person Reiki because I feel like one, most people are more comfortable when they're in their own home setting. So what happens in a session is I ask my clients to pick a spot in their house or wherever they feel more comfortable. I've had a client who felt more comfortable in her car. And so she did a Reiki session from her car because that was her quiet space. So being able to figure out wherever you feel the most comfortable, get in that position, get in that location, whether you add candles, whether you add aromatherapy, whether you do something else with, closing on the curtains, whatever makes you feel the most comfortable, get in that location and just all you have to do is allow your body to relax, your body and your mind to relax. There's nothing else to do. There's no chanting you need to do. There's no prayer. You don't need to be in this, this meditative position. You just need to be open to Reiki working. Because in reality, Reiki works on free will. if you are not open to Reiki, Reiki is not going to work on you. So if I have someone who is like, no, Reiki is not my thing, I'm totally against it, don't believe it most likely is not going to work. But if someone is open to it, Reiki will work on that person, whether they're in person with you or they are miles and miles away from you. And so in a session, typically what I do in my sessions are usually like around 45 minutes. And what I'll do is I'll start with a guided meditation. So I'll guide them. And I use that to do a visualization to kind of get their mindset in a certain place. And then I leave them in this visualization. And then that's when I start doing my Reiki stuff. And so I love doing distant Reiki sessions because, again, I feel people are more comfortable when they're in their own space, allowing them to be more open to receive. But I'm also more relaxed doing it. Like when I'm doing Reiki, because I'll do it over Zoom. But again, I don't have to do it over Zoom. When I'm doing Reiki and I don't have someone in front of me, I'm getting my own nerves out the way. I feel like when I'm in person sometimes, I can get nervous. I'm like, oh, well, are they feeling this? Oh, their body move. What does that mean? But when I not in person, the person's more relaxed because they're in their session state, they're in their happy space. When I'm doing Reiki from wherever I'm choosing to Reiki, I'm usually picking a place that makes me feel comfortable as well. And so I feel like I'm able to be a better practitioner if I'm more relaxed. And third reason is I don't have to worry about someone giving someone COVID or someone else giving me COVID. Like, so there's this overall feeling of safety and relaxation. I think that everyone involved has. And so I start the sessions again with the guided meditation. And then I start doing the Reiki session. And then afterwards, I will often, try to gently wake people up because people fall asleep. And it's very common for people to fall asleep in distant Reiki sessions. And it's just because one of the things people don't realize is like sometimes our mind and body just are in the way of our healing. And so, in order for that healing to actually occur that we need to get the mind and body and spirit out of the way and allowing your mind to rest, i.e., feel like you're going into a deeply meditative state or sleeping. It just allows for your body to be able to promote the healing that you need. And so people sometimes fall asleep. So the session will occur and I will gently try to bring people back. And then afterwards, we'll just talk about what happened. Sometimes I get situations where I see things and feel things. For example, I've had some situation where I've had someone not tell me they were pregnant, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like this person's pregnant. Or I'll notice, like, I had a situation where I knew someone had someone who was dying close to them, and I had to figure out a way to say what I was feeling, or I felt that someone was going through some situations with their womb, and I was just like, I don't know if there's an infertility situation, but I feel like something's coming up. And I'll just give them messages. I don't always get messages, but oftentimes I do get messages. And I love being able to use my intuitive gifts with Reiki to be able to provide a deeper form of healing for my clients. And that's the reason why I like using distant Reiki. I think the sessions just are different. I think it's just a great way to get the healing that we need and kind of stepping away from needing to go to the doctor, needing to get dressed, needing to look a certain way, needing to, take something physically. It's just Reiki is pretty simple. And that's part of the reason why I love using distant Reiki. Um, and for those who are skeptical about it, I always hope, well, just try it once. It can't hurt you. Reiki doesn't hurt anyone. Again, it can promote all different forms of healing. You can send Reiki to a relationship. Oftentimes, Reiki has helped me get clarity, and I've seen it give clarity to my clients as well. A lot of them have said, like, in the middle of sessions, like, I never felt this relaxed in my entire life. I've never been able to visualize certain different things. I've had people tell me like, "Oh my God, when I don't know what you were doing, but I felt this tingling sensation in my arm. Then I felt it in my leg and my hips and different places." And when they usually say that, I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's exactly where I was working." And they're able to, when I tell them what I'm feeling, they're like, oh my God, I felt that. And so that's when I know, like, it's not that I'm saying Reiki works and just trust me. I'm literally hearing from my clients how it's helped them to understand how it's helped them relax, how it's helped them promote healing, how it's helped them get clarity. So the proof that I have is literally what I hear weekly from my clients when I do distance sessions is this is how I feel and this is how it's made me feel. And the reason why they keep coming back is because it's working. And again, it kind of goes back to that feeling I was talking about before, is like we're all able to send healing energy to people through our thoughts and intentions and through prayer, through love, and through every which way you want to do it, and through other energy healings. This is just another form of energy healing that can help you get to the life that you want to live, to be able to clear some of the blocks that are in your body, clear your mind, to relax. Sometimes we just don't give ourselves the opportunity to relax because we're so busy going. And so that's what I love about Reiki and using distant Reiki versus using Reiki in person. Not saying that one is better than the other. I think if you're in person or doing Reiki by distance, I don't feel like there's a difference. I don't feel like my clients are feeling anything different, minus the fact that I would say slightly, in my opinion, that I feel that people are able to go deeper when they are in their own home space. And that's why, again, I like distant Reiki better than Reiki in person. But is it, I had someone be like, oh, this must be, when they was doing a distant Reiki session with them, like, oh, it's probably way better in person. I'm like, no, it actually isn't. It's just as good in person as it is from a distance. So if you are a skeptic, just try it. Find a Reiki practitioner. You can go online. You can find 50 million different Reiki practitioners. If you're interested in working with me, you can go on my website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, to schedule an appointment. And if you're someone who wants to learn how to actually do Reiki and actually be able to do Reiki from a distance, I offer Reiki teaching classes. And so every month or every other month, you can always go to the website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, and you can look to see what classes I'm offering. And so they're usually a 2-day class that's, from 9 in the morning, usually give or take, it's 5 to 8 hours a day of a training, and it's 2 days. So within 2 days, you can become certified to provide distant Reiki healing, not just for yourself, but to give it to someone else from afar. And especially with the holidays coming up really soon, we kind of need that. I know that I'm going to be spending the holidays gifting a lot of Reiki because this is the time of the year where a lot of ish goes wrong. A lot of people are stressed out and a lot of people need relaxation. And so what perfect gift than the gift of Reiki? So I hope this explained what is distance Reiki, how Reiki works remotely, and how you can learn how to do it too. If you have more questions, always reach out to me. You can reach out to me via the website. You can reach out to me via Instagram. And I'm always willing to answer questions about how Reiki works, why Reiki works, the benefits behind Reiki. And I want Reiki to be as common as using Advil. I want Reiki to be something that us in the Black and Brown community know that is at it's available to us. And we don't have to take a bunch of pills. We don't have to go, not saying anything about acupuncture, but we don't have to go get acupuncture needles, or we don't have to go to a shaman and get to certain experiences. We don't have to take Molly or weed or do ayahuasca or get a massage. Like, there's this thing that we can do on ourselves if we are trained, or on other people from our home. And you could be anywhere in the world to do this. So hopefully this was helpful. I look forward to talking to you guys next week. Other than that, have a great week, and sending you amazing love from California. Ciao. Thanks for joining us this week on the Hello Well with Danielle show. Make sure to visit our website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music and never miss an episode. Also, you can follow us on social media at Hello Well with Danielle on Facebook and Instagram, and Hello Well Danny on Twitter. And if you hella love the show and got some good nuggets out of it, know that I'm not too proud to ask for you to please leave a rating or review on iTunes so that we can continue to expand our reach and help other women of color. Again, thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Ciao.